This is my 2014 BMW i3 Rex, and it's the cheapest non-salvaged i3 in the country. It's also the highest mileage i3 for sale in the country. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with the car, as well as what I like about it. I'm also going to break down the price of the car and explain why I think this might just be the cheapest i3 sold to date. From a tech standpoint, I think the i3 is an amazing car. I've always liked this car. I know some people find it ugly, but I actually really like the way it looks. The materials used in this car, like the carbon fiber passenger cell and the aluminum frame, are usually only seen on high-end supercars. So it's actually pretty light for an electric car. This car weighs around 2,900 pounds, while the average EV weighs around 4,500 pounds. The Model X can weigh as much as 6,000 pounds. The body panels are made of plastic, which makes them lightweight and means they can't be dented like metal panels. They also can't rust. The Rex stands for range extender. All i3s have an electric motor that put out around 180 horsepower and 180 foot-pounds of torque, which is paired with a single-speed transmission. The Rex version has a 2-cylinder gas engine that doesn't power the wheels, but instead serves as a generator to recharge the battery, giving you more range. This car has 170,000 miles on it, and it has a few cosmetic modifications. I think the previous owner really cared for this car, because not only did they keep it clean inside, but they also dyed the armrest and the steering wheel to cover up the wear from use. They also used vinyl wrap to change the look of the car. They blacked out these upper body panels, as well as this section of the front bumper, along with the front grille and badge. They also added these details over the rear turn signals and added some aftermarket mirror covers, which are wrapped in carbon fiber, as well as this very subtle badging at the back that says electric, and this one on the door that says electric drive. Although the D on the passenger door is gone, so now it says electric drive. So that's the modifications. Now I'll list everything that's wrong with the car, and it's not a very long list. A reflector is missing from the driver's door, the door handles are loose, this light doesn't work, and this light has moisture inside it. Oh, and the second cup holder is missing. That's it. This is a 9-year-old car with high miles, and that's all that's wrong with it. So I tightened the door handles, which was super easy. I replaced the broken light for $57, which is held in with double-sided tape. I replaced the reflector, which for some reason cost $30. I replaced the mirror covers with stock ones, which were $33 on Amazon. The other ones created noticeable wind noise, and I didn't really like the look of them. I dried out this light and repaired a hole in it to stop moisture from getting back inside. And I removed the wrap from the body panels, the grille, and the badges. I left the wrap on the front bumper. I also removed these little stickers on the turn signals. Oh, and I bought a cup holder off eBay for $75. So I spent about $200 on repairs. Now let's talk about how much it cost to buy. But before we do that, let's take a look at the original window sticker to see what it sold for back in 2014. As you can see, this is the base model. It only has 3 options added to it, which are the larger 20-inch wheels, heated seats, and the DC fast charging. And with just those 3 options, the listing price was $48,500. That's a lot of money for this car. Even if you factor in the rebates at the time, which in some cases were up to $10,000, that's still an expensive car. Now let's look at what I paid for it. I bought this car from a local dealer for $9,777, which made it the cheapest i3 for sale in the country. You can see that on Auto Tempest, where I listed all cars in the country from lowest price to highest price. It's clearly the cheapest. I also chose to list them from highest mileage to lowest mileage, and again, this car was at the top. So this is the cheapest and highest mileage i3 currently listed for sale in the US. Now, getting a usable electric car for less than $10,000 is impressive, but what makes this really impressive is that starting just a few months ago, the Fed started offering a tax rebate on used EVs. The credit is for 30% of the sale price up to $4,000. So basically, this car qualifies for a $3,000 tax credit, bringing the price of the car down to about $7,000. Now, at $10,000, this is a really good deal. At $7,000, it's an unbelievably good deal. After buying the car, I also found out that SoCal Edison, our electric provider, offers a discounted rate for EV owners, as well as a $1,000 rebate, which gets sent to you after owning an EV for 20 months. If you have low income, that rebate can be up to $4,000. So this car cost me about $7,000 to buy, and there's a good chance that the $1,000 rebate will cover the cost of charging the car for the next 20 months. So it's basically free to drive. Now I know some of you are saying, yeah, but the battery's probably shot and it only gets like 20 miles to charge. Wrong. There's actually a way to see the current battery capacity, which for this car is 15.2 kilowatt hours of usable battery space. That's down from the original 18.8 kilowatts of usable battery space. That's an 18% loss, which is pretty damn good considering the high miles on this car and its age. I still see a range of 60 to 70 miles even in cold temperatures, and remember, this is the Rex version, which means if I get low on battery power, the gas generator can recharge the battery. In fact, I recently took this car on a 300-mile road trip with no issues. I drove 150 miles each way with an altitude change of 2,500 feet. I've learned that altitude change can be as important as miles driven in an EV. But for the 150-mile drive there, which was uphill, I used about 4 gallons of gas, and on the way back, I only used about 3 gallons of gas. Now, it is important to reprogram your car to allow you to use the hold state of charge function if you want to go on long trips like this, but that's very easy to do. Just do a few Google searches and you can figure it out. So with all that said, what's the car like to drive? Well, for starters, the car is rear-wheel drive, and it has a near 50-50 weight distribution, so it has a very sporty feel to it. It also has lots of power, especially at takeoff. It takes off very quickly. You can jump into traffic easily. It has lots of power to shoot up even the steepest of hills, so power is not an issue. It also has the sharpest turning radius out of any car that I've ever driven. I mean, this thing can turn around in a really small space. When it comes to cornering, it's not going to handle nearly as well as some other sportier BMWs, mainly because the wheels are just so narrow. You don't have a lot of rubber touching the road, so you're not going to get the same traction and cornering abilities that you would in other BMWs. But overall, the driving experience is really enjoyable. Now, I will say I'm not a big fan of the one-pedal driving where the car applies a very aggressive regen-style braking as soon as you let off the accelerator. The car never actually coasts. It just goes from accelerating to stopping immediately, so that takes some getting used to, but it does help extend the range, so that's a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong, EVs are much less convenient than gas-engined cars. Charging out in public is a hassle. I've only tried to charge this car twice in public, and it didn't go well either time. It seems like you can't find a charging station when you need it. When you do find it, half the time it doesn't work, or there's already people waiting in line to use it. So charging outside of the home is not good, not yet. So for me, it was very important to have a level 2 charging station at home. Now, a level 2 charging station will charge this car in about 3 hours from completely dead. The level 1 charging cable that comes with the car would take more like 16 hours, which really isn't very useful for me. Overall, I'm extremely happy with my purchase. I really enjoy driving this car. I actually look forward to driving it. I've been coming up with excuses just to get back in it and go for another drive. So if you're looking for an affordable EV, I think this is one of the best deals out there right now. If you know of any other good used EVs to buy, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.